What up, YouTube? It's your boy CM the Go 5, man. Back with a new one, you know what I'm saying? I hope everybody's starting the 2025 year off pretty good. You know what I mean? We got a new one for you today, man. What's going on? What's going on? We've been bombing and, all this stuff that's already going on in 2025 on New Year's Eve. All that stuff that went down, which is crazy, man. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel, man. Malone TV News. We in the building. Let's go.
Today, the FBI briefed me that as of now, we have no information that anyone else is involved in the attack. They've established that the attacker was the same person who planted the explosives in those ice coolers in two nearby locations in the French Quarter just a few hours before he rammed into the crowd with his vehicle. They assess he had a remote detonator in his vehicle to set off those two ice chests. And so we're also continuing to investigate whether or not there's any connection between the New Orleans attack and the explosion in Las Vegas. As of now, they've just been briefed. They have not found any evidence of such a connection thus far. I've directed them to keep looking. The individual who rented the truck that exploded in Las Vegas also served as active duty U.S. Army.
Oh, do y'all really believe that what Biden talking about, man? Do y'all really believe
Oh my
that?
God, I can't believe
At least it's
it.
not me in that car, you know?
I can't believe it.
Hold on a minute. Let me go back. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on.
Officials in Vegas talking now about the Cybertruck attack there at the Trump Hotel. Let's listen in.
As many of you went to sleep last night, and I just want to give you an update on a lot of what it is that we found through the processing of the Cybertruck. This is a joint investigation involving the FBI, the ATF, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and these folks worked through the night and found a lot of stuff that is very useful for this investigation. As you look at this Cybertruck here, we had to transport this down to our fleet services so that we could really get through this thing. And I remind you that the subject inside wasn't able to be removed for a very long period of time because he was burnt beyond recognition. And so as we continue to move through this, I'm going to talk a little bit about his identity and what we believe, but I would like to highlight a couple of things that the teams found inside of the Cybertruck that are useful to the investigation. And that, first and foremost, is a military identification. We also found a passport. We found a Desert Eagle 50 caliber semi-automatic pistol. And if you'll notice on a lot of these guns that we're going to talk about here, they're almost just burnt beyond recognition as well. There's a SLR model B30 semi-automatic firearm, number of fireworks that were still in the vehicle that had to be removed. Notably, we found an iPhone and a smartwatch, and then several credit cards were also in the name of our subject. Our subject is 37-year-old Matthew Livelsberger. He's of Colorado Springs, Colorado, born July 22nd of 1987. Now, as you'll see here on a picture of his driver's license, let's see, the question really still remains for me, and I know that there's a lot of you folks in the media that are identifying this person as the person in our vehicle. As I mentioned to you already, his body is burnt beyond recognition, and I do still not have confirmation 100% that that is the individual that was inside of our vehicle. And so as I'm calling it now, the subject or person of interest, I will not come back until I have the confirmation through DNA or medical records that this is indeed, in fact, the subject inside of the vehicle. Now, further complicating this identification of this individual, we also discovered through the coroner's office that the individual had sustained a gunshot wound to the head prior to the detonation of the vehicle. One of the handguns was found at his feet inside of the vehicle. Obviously, in how we're trying to identify him, and I'm feeling comfortable to give you this information, is a tremendous amount of substantial evidence to include he rented the Turo vehicle. There are 2 tattoos, one of which was on the stomach and one of which is on the arm, that we can see bits and pieces of it as in comparison to what it is that we now know he had on his body. That has given us a lot of confidence that this is, in fact, the same person, as well as which the clearly obvious, which is the credit cards, the military identification, the passport. And then furthermore, as you'll see here in just a very short period of time, we tracked his movements from Colorado to Las Vegas, and in a number of the photographs that we were able to determine, he was the individual that was driving the vehicle. And also, I'd like to iterate this point to you. We still have only ever seen him in this vehicle, and we're not aware of any other subjects involved in this particular case.
HoneyBook completely changed how I do business. I'm a photographer and independent business. It's a fact.
Now, I would like to acknowledge a couple of things because I know what's going on in the social media world, and there are a number of things in this case that are similar to the attack in New Orleans. We do know that our subject here served in the military. In fact, he's a current member of the military. Both of the subjects served at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. What we do know about that is it's a very large military base, and we have no record that they served in the same unit or even at the same years at Fort Bragg. Continues to remain under investigation. I also know that they both served in Afghanistan in 2009. We don't have any evidence that they were in the same province in Afghanistan, the same location, or the same unit. Again, something else that remains under investigation. And we also know, of course, that they both used the rental company Turo to rent their vehicles. As far as his military background, it's been confirmed by DOD that he was indeed in the United States Army. He was also a Green Beret operations sergeant who spent most of his time at Fort Carson, Colorado, and in Germany. He was on approved leave from Germany, where he was serving with the 10th Special Forces Group. He was also previously in the National Guard and the Army Reserve. I'd like to point out to you that through exceptional joint investigative effort, we've gotten to a place where we believe we can show you his route to Las Vegas from Colorado, and Carlos will put up the map there for you. And we know we'll pull up a picture of the truck pulling onto Fashion Show Drive here. And that picture was observed at about 7:34 a.m. We know that he pulled into the Trump Valet, and I believe we have a video of that. You can see the Cybertruck highlighted there. So through extensive surveillance video, we were able to track him leaving there, and we know that he went to several different places along Las Vegas Boulevard, and he spent some time in a parking lot of a business near Flamingo and Las Vegas Boulevard. We then have a video of the truck pulling back onto Las Vegas Boulevard from the Sands. See that there? That's north on the boulevard from Sands at 8:39, where he then immediately heads to the Trump Hotel, pulls into the valet area, and as of course you all know, the explosion occurs within 17 seconds of his arrival at the valet. There's some additional investigative updates that are going to be provided to you by a couple of the other speakers here, the first of which will be our special agent in charge of the FBI local office, Spencer Evans. Spencer?
Here we go.
Hi, everyone.
I'm Sambucha.
Spotter Studio something.
Good morning. My name is Spencer Evans. I'm the special agent in charge of the FBI's Las Vegas division. As the sheriff mentioned, we've been working through the night with our partners, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department and other agencies, to gather all the facts and determine a motive to what was initially reported to the FBI as a bombing incident, to which our special agent bomb techs and others responded. Obviously, we're always concerned in these sorts of events to ascertain what the motive is. We understand that's everybody's at the forefront of everyone's thoughts. And so looking into exactly what the motivation is remains our number one priority. This is why the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force has been brought into play. The Joint Terrorism Task Force, most concert with our partners, which are comprised of more than a dozen investigative agencies here throughout the state of Nevada. We've been working hand in glove, side by side, tirelessly to determine, is there any ongoing threat to the public, to identify the subject, to determine any potential connection to other events going on in the world, most notably in New Orleans, and then obviously to determine if there's anything else that we need to be tracking down. At this time, as the sheriff's pointed out, we feel that the subject has been identified, although not conclusively, waiting for DNA evidence on that front. However, we do feel like we have the subject identified, and at this time there is no information about additional subjects that the FBI is tracking on. Our resources, as I mentioned, that have been deployed in support of this event include Special Agent Bomb Techs, our evidence response team, which is processing crime scenes, side by side with the forensics folks from Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, our investigators, our intelligence analysts, and then outside of the FBI Las Vegas field office, we have investigative leads that are being conducted by FBI field offices, both internationally and domestically as well. As always, when the FBI is involved with any sort of case like this, we ask for help for the public. Anyone with information related to this incident, we encourage you to please call 1-800-CALL-FBI, or you can submit a tip online at tips.fbi.gov. We've already received thousands of tips related to this incident. The challenge that we face moving forward is to separate those that are pertinent and relevant and those that can be verified from those that have not. For example, one of the tips that we received just today relates to information alluding to this subject's personal experiences related to his time and activity in the military. Again, that's unverified and uncorroborated, but one of many tips and leads that we will be following up in the days that come.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kevin McMahill. I'm the sheriff of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and we are collectively here this morning to give you an update on the...
One second. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on out there for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Rogue Energy drink, man. If you hadn't got you some of this good Rogue Energy drink, man, you know what I'm saying? Order you a canister of this stuff because it's pretty good stuff, man. You know, I mean, I've drunk some. I tasted it. You know what I'm saying? Like I got the little packet right here, and it's pretty doing good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Rogue Energy drink, hydration, good for hydration. You know what I'm saying? If you just need some something to wake you up, pretty much get your energy going. This is the good stuff right here. You can go order you some of this Rogue Energy drink by using my QR code, Malone TV. That's on the front of the screen right here. You know what I mean? So go ahead and get you some, and you get 10% off on your first purchase. So go ahead and get your canister of this Rogue Energy drink. And also, if you hadn't, you need to go ahead and order you a copy of my autobiography, Malone. My autobiography, Hustle Forward, Not Backward. Mama, I Made It, by yours truly, Charles Malone. You know what I'm saying? And I got a whole description. It'll tell you a little bit about me on the back of here, right here. So you can also order this online, Amazon.com, Barnes and Noble, where all your bookstores are at. You know what I'm saying? And it's on sale right now for at the low price of $9.99. So get you a copy of my autobiography book, man. You know what I'm saying? Hustle forward, not backward. Let me see.
We join you with breaking news. I'm Caroline Collins. We're continuing to cover the awful massacre that happened in New Orleans. 10 people killed, multiple others injured in the early morning hours of New Year's Day. And now we have learned that the suspect has ties to Houston. We've in fact learned that he is a U.S.-born citizen and he has a residency here in Houston. Now, he drove his truck into a crowd in New Orleans on Bourbon Street, and that's where we find Donnelly Keith here in Houston, as there is FBI activity in a neighborhood with ties to this suspect who drove his truck into the crowd in New Orleans. Donnelly, what can you tell us at this hour?
Yeah, Caroline. Shamsuddin Jabbar is said to be a Houston resident, and according to an internet address, he supposedly lives here in this northwest Harris County neighborhood. Now, there are swarms of Harris County Sheriff's Deputy Street. This is at Crescent Peak Drive. This is the back of the home that we're looking at right now. And Harris County Sheriff's deputies, they have the road blocked off at Hugh Road, and that's leading to Crescent Peak Drive, where the home is, which is listed as the address for the suspect who killed all of those people there in New Orleans. The FBI has released a statement saying that FBI Houston and the Harris County Sheriff's Office are currently conducting law enforcement activity here in this area and at this home. And the FBI confirms that they have secured a perimeter in this area, and they're asking people to avoid that area. Now, we were over there near that home trying to talk with neighbors, but the sheriff's deputy in the home. I asked a few of those sheriff's deputies if a raid was planned and if they are planning to go into that house, and he said probably. We do see a lot of sheriff's deputies. I would say probably dozens of sheriff's deputies in this area, looking as though they're preparing to do something. They are gathering in groups. Some have their lights turned on, their patrol vehicles, as they are blocking traffic and keeping traffic away from this home. Now, also the sort of the rideshare app Turo, they also released a statement saying, "We are heartbroken to learn that one of our hosts' vehicles was involved in this awful incident. We are actively partnering with the FBI. We are not currently aware of anything in this guest's background that would have identified him as a that would not have identified him as a untrustworthy and safety threat to us at the time of the reservation." Now, again, lots of deputies here in this northwest Harris County neighborhood, and the FBI confirms there is law enforcement activity that they are involved in, and it looks like they're about to go into a home that we're told that could belong to Shamsuddin Jabbar. He is the suspect in that deadly New Orleans incident that occurred, killing all of those people there in New Orleans.
Donnelly, at this point, if you can hear me, is this the only residence that the FBI and police are surrounding at this point? Have you heard of any other areas that they're checking out at this point?
You know, we checked out several addresses that were listed for this man here in the Houston area, and this is the only address that we've seen police activity. A couple of addresses, people actually came to the door and told me no, it was the wrong address, but this is the only address that we're seeing this much police activity at. Also, he is said to be a business owner of a real estate property that's up in the Sugar Land area, Caroline, so we are learning a lot more information about him. He also says in a video that he posted to YouTube that he's originally from Beaumont, but that he's lived in Houston for some time, and he was soliciting customers for his real estate business. But we also know that his real estate license expired back in 2022, and it doesn't appear that he has a new Texas real estate license. So we are digging and trying to find out as much information about this man as we possibly can, Caroline.
And Donnelly, I see that you are pretty far from the home. I know there's a lot of noise happening around you, so I hope you can hear me. You're pretty far back. That means that perimeter is pretty big.
Yeah, the perimeter that the deputies have set is pretty large. We're at the back of the home right now. There is a deputy down on Hugh Road. Not sure if you can see that. He's got his lights on and he's blocking the road. And then there are also deputies in a parking lot right next door. I think photographer Darlene is zooming into that right now. There are deputies in plain clothes that are staging in that parking lot. And then another block up, there were another maybe 6 or 7 deputies in their vehicles that were blocking off the road there. So initially we were there at the on the road where the house is located, and we were trying to talk with neighbors, trying to see if anyone was in that home. But that's when the deputies came along and said that they were setting up a perimeter. They had all of the media move out of the way, but it doesn't look like they've evacuated any residents from the area. We have seen residents still coming and going, but they are not. If you don't live there, they're not allowing you to go to that road right now, Caroline.
Well, Donnelly, at this point, were you able to talk with anybody who knew of this 42-year-old suspect who is now dead after a gunfire exchange last night when this all happened, when he drove his truck into a crowd of people, killing 10 of them? Were you able to speak with any neighbors or anybody that knew of this suspect?
You know, at this point, I've not spoken with anyone who said that they know him. I did speak with one resident who was coming from that area of the home, and but she told me she didn't know him, she didn't recognize him, she didn't even know that he lived in this area. So at this point, I've not spoken with anyone who knows him.
Well, Donnelly Keith, thank you so much for this update. If you are just joining us, we are following the horrific New Year's Day attack in New Orleans that left at least 10 people dead, dozens more injured after a driver intentionally rammed his truck into a crowd. Now, right now, the FBI is looking for possible accomplices, and the FBI says that this suspect, who's 42 years old, his name is Shamsuddin Jabbar, is a Houston resident and also an Army veteran. And FBI Houston and the Harris County Sheriff's Office, well, they're currently conducting law enforcement activity at the intersection of Hugh Road and Crescent Peak Drive in North Houston. That's where we just spoke with Dom Keith, who is giving us that view from the ground. And we also saw Skyfox in that area. We have limited information at this point as to what they're searching for at that home. Again, police and the FBI still looking and considering that there could be other suspects involved here. But the 42-year-old suspect from Houston who drove his car into that crowd died when law enforcement and him exchanged gunfire when this was all unfolding in the early morning hours as people were celebrating the new year. It's definitely a story that we are all following here at Fox 26. We actually have a reporter headed down to New Orleans right now, so we will bring you live reports from him as soon as he arrives. And of course, you can go to fox26houston.com. You can also download the Fox Local app for your phone and your smart TV for free. You can live stream our coverage as well as read all of the stories and get up to date on anything that happens. Of course, we will be the first to inform you here on air and online with any new developments surrounding this horrific New Year's Day truck attack that killed more than 10 people in New Orleans, injuring dozens of others.
Yeah, man. There you have it. You know what I'm saying? I pray for all the families. You know what I'm saying? Of the lost, the one that lost the loved one. You know what I'm saying? In this tragedy. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel, man. You know what I'm saying? Malone TV News. Your boy CM the Goat 5, man. Back with another one, on to the next. So we'll see y'all on the next one. Deuces.